All right, guys. Welcome to the Texas Flycaster YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at my trip last week to the Lower Laguna Madre. I had some video. I try to make it into stories on the water, beginning to end, and all that. But what I'm going to do for now is, and then I don't know if maybe one of the trips made a complete story. So let me just show you some clips of the fly fishing down there. Number one, we fished the Arroyo Colorado, where my friend Jaime landed this fantastic 26 3/4 inch speckled trout. I mean, the trout down there are just, it's crazy how good they are size wise. You know, when I was a kid, maybe once a year you'd catch a fish close to this size, but not this size. I've been down there, I've caught 3 or 4 25 plus in the last few months. You know, I came back from Fish Camp South, and I'm back here in North Texas now at Fish Camp North. Isn't that a great name? Speckled trout, Lower Laguna Madre. You want to catch them, that's where you go. So that was one place that we caught specks, and he caught that Mongo speckled trout. And then, I mean, I caught some small ones, but then another place we went to was I kind of was jonesing for jetties. I like jetties a lot, you know. And I'd been to Boca Chica Jetties and on South Padre Island jetties, and Boca Chica wasn't as crowded, and it was a smaller jetty, and it just had some more contours that I liked to it. And I went, ostensibly I took my 12-weight, and I was going to wait till nighttime for tarpon and all that, but man, I got worn out from the heat, and I got so excited about catching this speckled trout that you'll see wherever he is in the background. I don't know, I'm working on this new background thing and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah, big speck that I caught there, going probably 25 inches, probably, I don't know, 5 pounds, something like that. Just a Mongo speckled trout in the open water of the Gulf of Mexico. So this trout, if you look at him closely, big old fat tail muscle, and that to me was a giveaway that this guy's spending his time out there in the Gulf. And let me tell you one other thing about this fish. You get them this big and they fight differently, okay? So a small speck's gonna come up and shake his head right in your face like this, right there. And then you're gonna reel him in, blah, 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 whatever, however you get him in. These guys, these big mamas, whether you catch them in the Arroyo Colorado, like I've done, or out here at the jetties, they make these fantastic runs like this, and you at first think you've got something else on the line, whether it's a redfish or, every time I've thought that it was redfish or it was a ladyfish or something like that. So, you know, really a great fish to fight once they get to a certain size. You know, not bad at smaller sizes, but anyway, the big story on speckled trout in Texas and the Texas Gulf Coast is the fact that they are going to change the regulations back, sunset the regulations at the end of August 2023 to the old, supposedly, it's not controversial, I don't know how it's going to turn out, to the old, what is it, I don't know, 15 to 25 inch, something like that. And the number is 5 though in the bag limit, which matters more than size to me. I think what's happened with this, and I'll write it down, I'll put it down here, whatever the limits were and are, I'll just run it right down here. But I think what's happened on the Texas Gulf Coast is, because of this conservation push and the regulations, the actual conventional fishermen are getting on board now with more conservation. I hear it in their voices when they're talking in interviews and things like that about, hey man, just keep the number of fish you're going to eat and throw back the rest. Don't just be filling up your freezer. Frozen fish is not the same as fresh fish. So a freezer full of fish, really, come on now. Why? Especially speckled trout, something that's a little more sensitive and fragile than your typical sand bass or whatever here in North Texas. So think about those conservation moves. I would, if you really like the old rules, go by the old rules. Just keep 3. You know, just go by the old rules. Or better yet, continue to catch and release and keep one fish to eat. You know, if you're going to eat one that time, that day, don't be put fish in the freezer now. Just go ahead and keep what you're going to eat, and that's it. So that's the speckled trout story. It went on and on. You know, they're everywhere. I caught some baby redfish in little baby. They're like this big, like fingerlings, over in the Port Mansfield area. Those guts and those cuts in Port Mansfield, as you can see, are really just enticing, but they're very dangerous. Okay, if you're going to have to get off the boat, more than likely. You're going to want to get off the boat, but remember, stingrays and a lot of shell that will cut you. I mean, my boots are cut up, leather boots cut up. I didn't mean to wear those, that's all I had, and they just got sliced and diced. And neoprene, forget about it, it'll slice all the way through. So if you go to fall on shell, you don't want to fall. Number one, don't fall. Do not fall down. But if you find yourself on the downward route, don't put your hands out. Do not put your hands out. You could do something to where you shelter or hold like this, and maybe you'll take your cuts here instead of on your hands and fingers. But the idea is you're going to get cut. So this shell is pretty bad. It's in clumps. It's really tall, really healthy stuff. I don't know. It's a give and take over there. I didn't catch any big reds. Caught some speck. Caught ladyfish. Ladyfish are everywhere too in the lower Laguna Madre. And for someone who's not exposed to salt, it's a freak show, because the ladyfish are like poor man's tarpons, what they call them, PMTs, and they go crazy. But they also break your line. They ruin your flies, and they just basically they're not edible. They just use up your time, you know, where you could be catching something that's different. Anyway, they're there. You're going to catch them. They're going to ruin your flies. Have a lot of flies. I sell flies at www.texasflycaster.com. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Let's look at some more footage and see what happened down there on the lower Laguna Madre and in the borderlands.